Hello, welcome to another episode of Chris Just a Pod. Today we've got Dennis from AISeer, also has launched the app Facticity, and also an AI agent, ArAistotle, which is launched on the Virtuals platform. Dennis, how are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Cool. I'm excited to chat to you because I think there's a lot going on in the crypto AI space. Obviously, tons going on in the AI space. It's been nothing but the hottest thing for, almost 2 years now. But for people who don't know who you are, give a very brief background. And I think what's also interesting for people to note is AISeer and you and your team are some of the most heavy technical founders that have really been in the crypto space so far. So for people who don't know you, who are you?
Yeah, so my name is Dennis Yap. I graduated from Princeton University. I was very interested in philosophy of science and feasibility reasoning.
And you spent, so prior to founding AISeer, you spent some time with Draper, who's one of the biggest names in Silicon Valley and tech of the last couple decades. Quickly talk about that, and then let's move into what is AISeer, what is Facticity, and what is ArAistotle.
Right, so after I finished my MBA, I worked for a VC. And when I was working for a VC, I helped incubate this hostel for entrepreneurs called Tribe Theory. It got acquired by Tim. Now it's called Draper Startup House, and it's all over the world. And after that, I decided to found my own thing because I was running into a lot of scammers in the VC space. So while I was working for my VC, we had this entrepreneur who claimed he dropped out of Stanford on a Thiel fellowship. I TA'd for Peter Thiel, so I took it very personally. He was lying that his startup got acquired by Jerry Yang. He co-founded Grab, which is the largest rideshare in Southeast Asia. Then he claimed that he was part of Lee Kuan Yew's virtue guard when he died. He's our founding father, and he also claimed like all kinds of ridiculous things. Yeah, so I got really upset because it almost felt like the deepfake problem we have today, right? People are always like trying to steal other people's identity and all these things. And he was, in a way, he was actually stealing like my friends and family's like identity. And this happens a lot in Singapore, Southeast Asia ecosystem. I don't know why, but and one of the VCs that I used to work for when I was doing my MBA, we used to set traps for entrepreneurs by like asking them about books that don't even exist. So, for example, if I told you, have you heard of Humans of New York before?
Yeah.
What if I told you I just read Humans of Silicon Valley last week? The book doesn't exist, and 20% of a cohort would claim they read books that don't even exist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is what I want to give to you, like real-time fact-checking and real-time lie detection. So you can call me out, like, Dennis, that book doesn't even exist. Create a more believable example, yeah.
I see. So that's kind of the personal side. And then, so what did that turn into?
So I wrote Tim a cold email saying, hey, I helped Vic incubate this startup. And then he said, let's have a call on Zoom. It was during COVID. And then this 2020, after like 3 months of due diligence, he finally completed the transaction.
Very cool. And so when did the company start? And then when we previously chatted, you kind of gave me the whole, big picture. So at the smallest unit, I guess, of everything you're working on is ArAistotle, right? Which is an AI agent launched through Virtuals. And then on top of that, we've kind of got Facticity, which is an app that helps you fact check podcasts, tweets, images, whole bunch of stuff, right? And then on top of that, we've got AISeer, who is working on a whole suite of lie detection, facial detection, AI stuff. Talk more about that.
Yeah, so I'm going to just share a screen because it might be easier for you to get a sense of it, but don't feel like you need to absorb all of it. It's a lot happened in so many years. Yeah, so we started out in 2019 on the 12th of December, and yeah, so I registered the company with some friends and angels, some ex-classmates. This is called fools, right? Your friends, families, and fools. They put in about 100K. I put in 10K of my own savings. So I was kind of putting in some of my what's it called, bedside money, right, or measures money. And then yeah, we got our first institutional investment in 2020, which was a big thing because not many Singapore startups get funded directly by Draper Associates. And then we started doing some deep tech research into bioengineering related things. So this is when we put together this thermal camera, infrared, and RGB cameras to look for any potential cues that can be seen, even things outside the visible part of the light spectrum. And we made some paid pilots and MPPs along the way. We almost got US government MV prototyping contract, but we missed that. In the end, we're still working with some polygraphers. They're finishing the field trial. Yeah, so this is the physical but contactless reality detector product line. So we were waiting for all this like tedious like peer reviews and everything that happened. There was this Gen AI revolution going on, right? So we didn't want to miss that, and we had a nice office which I'm in right now, and yeah. So this was the beginning of our journey with Facticity AI, the beginning of 2024, and these are some of the milestones that we went through. Yeah, so it's been really exciting, but also really tiring. But so I'm glad I have a stable team in the office to cope with the crazy things that happen. Like being part of the journey, I built pad with NVIDIA. It's a major thing for us. We got to improve our technology. Uh, and then Tim had his digital twin, which helped us get more users. And then we won this Time Magazine award, which brought in even more users. And we fact checked the US presidential debate live as well, which was very exciting.
Very cool. And then so out of this, I see you launched the Facticity app. And then just recently, you launched ArAistotle, your AI agent through virtuals. Talk more about what that launch looked like, why you decided to launch an AI agent, and what the plans are for that project.
Right. So we have this advisor called Jake. He did a successful launch on virtuals, and he introduced us. He's actually the last person to interview McAfee. Yeah. Um,
The last person in the what?
to interview McAfee, John McAfee.
Oh, wow. John McAfee. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, and then I met somebody from Nexus at Token 2049 last year, and then they're building a very complementary technology which we can work with, and we got introduced to virtual as mentioned, and we got to listen to AtomH and the team at their side event at Super AI, of which we were finalists. Yeah, so it's been great getting to know about the virtuals ecosystem and how it supports a decentralized AI. I also got to hear Balaji give a talk. His wife invited me. I think they're kind of based in Singapore and Malaysia now. So it's really cool to hang out with them and stuff.
Very cool. So you got plugged in with the virtuals team. You started learning more about what's going on in the decentralized AI space. And then, so what was the catalyst, or what made you decide to launch an AI agent with a token?
Yeah, so as mentioned, Balaji on I think it was a Sunday. We kind of like just came in and told us about like how most of the money is raised now through crowdfunding rather than traditional VC. Especially if you're not Sam Altman or the Big Seven or something, it's just really hard to get money otherwise. So I think this is a really healthy thing for developers and builders who don't have like access to traditional VC, which so many people want it, and then they are so like risk averse, right? Ever since the end of ZERP, and it's just been so hard for builders.
Very cool. So biology gave you a little kick in the behind and got you excited about it. And so, how did the launch go, and what did you learn from it?
Oh yeah, so we're still learning from it actually, because it's such a steep learning curve for us as a team. This is so out of our radar. Um, yeah, we were very lucky that the virtuals team the virtuals community decided to support us so much. We are the second highest number of wallets that subscribe. Of course, some people just quickly, what's it called, cheated, right? After the price went up, but they made their 10x, and then other people came in. So on the day itself, we had like 1,000 plus holders. So we were a bit nervous, like is everybody cheating on us? Are we just gonna go down after that? But like yeah, then it went up to 5,000 the next day, and then it stabilized at about 6,000 holders. So yeah, even though it's like yeah, I don't know, you know more about these price charts than I do, but yeah, I think overall, people who complain that they couldn't get in because all these point whales were taking so much of the allocation. I hope everyone is happy now because everybody had their chance to like get in and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the chart pulled up right now. It's currently sitting at 2.03 million, 6,823 holders. And according to AIXBT, it is severely undervalued, not financial advice. But it's interesting to see, at least from my perspective, very heavy, kind of Web 2 AI founders coming into the Web 3 crypto space. And I think that's kind of been the theme of crypto in the last at least 6-12 months recently, has been this huge push of trying to get in, Web 2 startups into the Web 3 space. And you're right, I think there is a big learning curve along with that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that they have this trading fees business model. So that was quite a shocking thing to me, like that you could get some proportion of this to help you cover costs. So that's great for our cash flow. I think most traditional VCs haven't even heard of this business model before. Yeah, so it's pretty amazing.
Yep. And so a lot of people ask, and whenever a token is launched, regardless of the project, whether it's AI or meme coin or some other DeFi or utility type play, they always ask, well, what is the token used for? So what are your plans with the agent, and what is the agent token going to be used as?
Right. So like we've been have some examples as well, where we fact check Joe Rogan, for example. Joe Rogan, he some of his podcasts, they have hundreds of factual claims. He's at 2,000. So you do some simple math. That means he's made like more than 2 million at least factual claims in his career, or he's enabled 2,000 factual claims. So you just think about that huge volume, right? And many people listening to podcasts, me included. I'm driving, I'm listening to the Apple podcast. I'm not, processing it very critically. My attention is not fully on the podcast. Or I'm listening to it when I'm watching YouTube when I'm falling asleep. Like I'm not at my most critical and like awake state of mind, right? And that's the problem because we are very susceptible, especially if the podcast host is very supportive to just like like I love this podcast host, I love this speaker. I'm just gonna believe whatever they say, right? Regardless of it being a bit crazy. I'll show you some examples of some crazy things that were said on podcasts during the US election year. This example of Peter Thiel saying that NVIDIA is making over 100% of the profits in the AI sector. Like that is mathematically impossible. You cannot make more than 100% of the profits, right? Right. So, I mean, like, but because all the people interviewing him on the Orion podcast are his friends, or his ex-colleagues, or his subordinates, they're just gonna, oh, Peter Thiel, you're great. Yeah. Right. They're not gonna fact check him on the spot. So, whether it's Reid Hoffman as well, all these big people, or, if you're my like good buddy in real life, you're gonna let something slide. Right? You're not gonna like, hey, Dennis,
Yeah. And what's another example?
we can do this one as well. It's very interesting. This is Elon on the Alex Friedman podcast.
So for people that are just going to be listening to this, what are you reading?
Right. So we are seeing like the second claim of Elon in real time, and it's analyzing the claim that Elon said the only reason Taiwan has not been incorporated into China is because of the U.S. Pacific Fleet. So that's the claim he just made that you heard. What has happened is that Facticity AI or ArAistotle can pull these claims in real time, search the net for sources about this topic, and what is pulled is the U.S. Indo-Pacific strategy from the White House. And according to this document, it says that it outlines the strategic approach of the United States in the Indo-Pacific region, emphasizing the importance of maintaining a free and open Indo-Pacific, and it highlights the role of the U.S. military, including the Pacific Fleet, and then it goes on to a DoD link, I think. Yeah, and the DoD link says that while the U.S. Pacific Fleet is important, but these sources concur that it's not just the U.S. Pacific Fleet, right? It's the U.S. Taiwan's own diplomacy, its own armed forces, yeah, and whenever you say it's something like the only reason, right, it's like very absolute, right? Like it means that there's no other reasons in a multivariate regression, right? It's a very strong claim to make, especially if you're in the rocket engineering industry.
I see. Okay.
If he had said the
Cool.
main
And so
reason, he'll be okay, but he went hyperbolic and said only, and
I see. Okay. So it's good for maybe more nuanced or more specific facts, for example.
yeah, very precise.
Yeah, very precise. That's cool. And so Facticity claims to be 3 times as more accurate as the next models, correct? Talk more about that and
Yeah,
how
so
that works.
Columbia University, I think journalists are very upset with AI. So they came up with this data set to fact shame all the different AI search out there. Grok 3 and 2 search were performing about 6x worse than us when it came to incorrect citations. And Gemini search was performing 5x worse than us. Yeah, and so you can don't take my word for it. Use their data set, use the information we put out on the internet and do a third-party independent benchmark if you want. Because now everybody is saying that AI is maximally truth-seeking, right? But like, you have to run them through these data sets in order to prove that your AI is really maximally truth-seeking. I don't know if you saw the recent row between Sam Altman and Elon, and they're trying to call their bots in to like claim that they are the most truthful, most trustworthy people.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Cool.
I mean,
So,
the AI itself needs to be some independent yardstick, right? Not just that I'm Sam Altman and I say my AI is the best, right? That kind of thing.
all right. So ultimately the grand vision of AISeer is to kind of fact check AI, right? So AI has a lot of hallucinations, has a lot of errors, and there's really no way to know. For example, I've used a lot, whether it's ChatGPT or Grok, and it'll spit out something completely factually incorrect, and I'll say, "Are you sure?" And it'll say, "Yeah." And I say, "Are you really sure?" Because that's not true. And then it'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually the correct one." And if I hadn't asked multiple times, it would have given me wrong information. And depending on the severity of what the information is for, can have bad consequences. So is that ultimately the goal of AI seers, to kind of be almost like a safety valve, a safety check, safety net for the bigger LLMs? Or what's the vision for this?
Yeah, right from the start, we were trying to warn people about the dangers of AI hallucinations. I don't know, you remember Google was saying eat a rock a day, it's good for you. And your Google search, it came out the wrong year. It said it's 2024, even though it's 2025. It's getting pretty awful. That's why we built a Chrome plugin. It has more than 100 users so that you can fact check as you're like browsing the internet. Yeah, so these are some of the things we've been doing to educate people about the dangers of AI hallucination, and we also been coming up with fact checking data sets. So one thing that a lot of AIs are bad at is with bias, right, in different languages. So like Japanese and Thai, you'll find that the LMs can be very biased because the creators are mainly English-speaking people. In order to use AI to speak truth to power, you need to create this, or people to speak truth to AI. You need these data sets, because even like our LM fails sometimes. It works in English, but then you translate it into Thai, it makes mistakes. Thai has no spaces, as you can see. It's very different.
Yeah. And then so ultimately, what is the goal, and what is the decentralization aspect of this?
Yeah, so we want to make AI radically transparent. We live in such a polarized world, and we want to make it like super clear, like, okay, this source supported this. It's fully explainable. It's not like I said, you said, and what is the ground truth, right? So we create these like benchmark data sets. You can benchmark them. We benchmark against a competitor's data set. We benchmark against Columbia University's data set. And the idea is to make the truth more meta-analytic, right? You can see, oh, this source is very left-wing, it's very low quality. Even the New York Times, some individual articles are very low quality, right? We use this integration with this NGO's media bias chart so that people can see, oh, this particular article, the New York Times, is real shit. But this particular podcast of Joe Rogan with scientist is actually pretty factual. You want to make it very clear to the user, especially if there's only one source, right? And you need to make sure it's really high quality in this day.
Very cool. And then how does it decentralize?
So we are going to make a DAO where we have plans of it in the works, and if this is bad enough for like our society when it comes to facts, right? People don't even believe there are facts anymore. Some people, and the Earth is flat and blah blah blah, right? And so what we need to do is make a DAO. The largest stakeholders of our token will get bigger voting rights on how to make our system more radically transparent.
Okay, so the tokens are for DAO voting. It's a governance token for the agent.
It's starting out as a utility token, and then at some point we want to decentralize it, because we're going to also put up some behavioral analytics or deception detection Q modules, right? So I need to fact check myself all the time. So let's say like Putin is saying, I'm not invading Ukraine, right? For example, we want versions of our lie detection algorithm or our behavioral analytics algorithm to be on other people's computers, right? I don't want the KGB to come after me in my little nice office in Singapore. So we really need to decentralize our lie detection, as all our deception, detection, or truth tell modules.
Yeah, so it's a safety to keep the product working is one of the reasons for the coin, correct? So the DAO can continue to develop it. And then also on your chart here, for people that are just listening and aren't viewing the video, the tokens are actually used as well to use for fact checking. So it'll require tokens to use the fact checker, correct?
Yeah, and then if you're a big influencer like Chris, and you have enough tokens to qualify in our gold tier, our bot will actively defend your reputation every time someone's spreading some fake news about you.
Oh, that's cool. So you can use it when people make accusations. For example, one of the big ones in the crypto Twitter world recently was everyone was saying Ansem got arrested. Ansem, the big CT influencer, that he got arrested, but he came out and said it was completely not true. He was just on vacation, but the whole internet ran with it for a couple days at his expense, which I don't think will cost him reputationally, but for somebody else who isn't as outgoing and as big as him, it might be a big brand reputation risk.
Yeah, so this was a recent example from Mr. Beast. I don't know if you saw this example.
Yep, saw this one. So it says Mr. Beast is quoted, "Life is so much easier when you're broke."
He said bro, right? And then this Kotaku mistranscribed it somehow. Maybe it was an AI that mistranscribed it. And then it went viral. And then when Mr. Beast tried to clear his name, he had much less views than, because the internet wants to spread something sensationalistic, right? And then when he tries to make it, I just said life is so much easier when you're broke, and then nobody bothered really. And then like once it's stuck in people's brain, right? Like Disney wants to buy Mr. Beast's YouTube channel, no matter how much times he says like no, like it's still stuck in people's brain, right? Like
yeah. So then they think he's a bad person or insensitive or something like that, even though the headline was completely false.
Yeah, it's so sad that the worst part of ourselves, or the worst possible perceptions of ourselves, goes viral before, we can even get a word in edgewise. It's totally not his fault, right? It's this media outlet that fucked up.
Yeah. Cool. And what else do people need to know about Facticity and ArAistotle?
We are still in R&D. Please stress test it by tagging Joe Rogan or Andrew Haberman or any big name podcaster. Try to debunk them if you can. Give our bot some exposure. We're not Elon. We don't have a big reach yet. So yeah, we appreciate any stress testing you could do on our bot. And if you can figure out a way to help us make our architecture even more radically transparent, please let us know. To answer your question just now, to go further in depth, we would like to even show you what was excluded in the search process. What language this comes from. Being in Singapore, we get exposed to both traditional Chinese and simplified Chinese. So we want to make sure, which type of Chinese it is. And if it's simplified Chinese, is it from Singapore, is it from China, right? Because I think the worldview will be quite different. And yeah, so these are some of the things we have lined up, and I hope you guys can help us think of how to improve the roadmap.
Yep. And so the easiest way to use it is just to tag it on Twitter or X.
Yeah.
ArAistotle.
I can walk you through some examples that recently.
And for anyone listening, it's ArAistotle, like Aristotle, but with an AI in the middle.
Thanks so much for that shout out. Yeah, it's getting better and better. And with your feedback, I hope it will become better than Ask Perplexity, Ask Grok, and whatever else is on X.
Cool. And where can people learn more about everything else that's going on? So you can find on Twitter, the agent is, like we just mentioned, ArAistotle, ArAistotle. And then the Facticity app is also on Twitter at Facticity AI, FACTICTYAI. A lot of letters in there. Facticity AI.
Yeah, I think you can just follow Aristotle and his replies and how he's trying to cope with the problem of misinformation, whether it's video. Yeah, so we have a X account, 800 followers. It's gone up a lot actually since the launch of virtuals. So I think it was like 100 or 200 before the launch of the coins. The side effect is that a lot of people on X now are tagging our bot and following our bot. So I think that's just another great thing about launching through virtuals, which is a large community that's very active, and they want to see whether it works, right, before they invest. You can go to the replies of ArAistotle and see what's happening. The USP, or the unique selling point of our fact checker compared to Grok or Perplexity, is we extract all the factual claims, even if it's a 3-hour video. and then we fact check everything. So what happened a lot is a lot of times the Grok and Perplexity can't extract all the claims by like a factor of 10. So you're missing out a lot of what happens on a 3 hour video, especially a Joe Rogan 3 hour video. That people are using us to fact check Tim's digital twin as well. So yeah, feel free to give it a try.
Cool. Very cool. And then as we wrap up here, anything else that you'd like to share with everyone? And then tell anyone kind of what the future plans are, if there's anything exciting to look forward to.
Yeah, so we're launching our token gated platform soon. And you can check it out at ArAistotle.Facticity.ai. And yeah, we're gonna get a lot of the tokenomics going. Send people to join this. Hope you're one of them. And let's rewire the attention economy so that we are no longer like believing all this most sensationalistic version of everything, and even helping tech billionaires who own social media platforms contribute to community notes for free, right? We should earn something for doing the right thing, right? We should feel good and do well at the same time. And right now, the Web2 isn't very supportive of this. We spoke to a senior exec at YouTube, and he told us YouTube is just for entertainment, like it's not for information. So yeah, it's just so sad,
Although I
right?
would argue that most people get their information from YouTube, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, but the problem is they can't tell whether it's just information or entertainment anymore, right? I think that's the bigger problem and sad.
Yeah. Cool. And where can people find out more about you? What's your handle?
I'm YE underscore Dennis on X. I've had this account since 2013 or something, but barely used it until the presidential election last year.
Very cool. Cool. Well, Dennis, I appreciate it. This was a cool chat. I think you guys have some of the most hardcore, most legit tech in the crypto space right now. So excited to see where this goes.
And we're excited to decentralize the truth and democratize it and work with you guys to do it.
Absolutely. Cool. Thanks, Dennis.
Take care, Chris.